Take their first timeout right here. This game coming on the heels of their win against Chicago.
You know, sometimes you're going to win because of your performance, and on occasions, which was the case for them, it's the play of your opponent that allows you to escape with wins.
Well, you're right. I mean, there were a lot of turnovers in that game. Some caused by their good defensive play, but some were just careless.
Down low. And finished off by Jefferson.
A little bit of a magic act here, pulling off the Houdini to make that catch and slam.
Stupendous alley-oop.
I think the crowd is still stunned by that one.
Cleveland on defense. It's a three-point game. Jackson again. Smith. Shot clock at 6. To halt the run. They get it back. We've got a 9-second difference between the shot clock and the game clock. Coach is liking Clark what he's seeing from his offense.
And shoot, why wouldn't he? I mean, guys, they're filling it up with ease, executing, getting quality shots. I mean, this is fun to watch.
And guys, they've put the defense on the defensive.
Jackson kicks to Caldwell Pope. Off target from outside.
Timeout.
Timeout is called. First of the game for the Cavaliers. They come in fresh off a win against the Heat.
Proficient in that game at the offensive end of the floor. I mean, their passing was dynamic and their shot selection was superb.
You do those two things hand in hand, Greg, you know the result. You move the ball like they did and take smart, good shots, you're coming away with a lot of wins.
The Cavaliers will go with a different look here. "12 seconds left to play in the first quarter. Out of bounds. Detroit takes possession.
You always want a player to have his head up and to be surveying the court, but not if that's going to be the result.
9 seconds left in the first quarter. Jackson dishes to Ilyasova. Another miss by Ilyasova.
I didn't see that miss coming. I mean, he's usually been money from that range.
The basket's coming early and often in the first quarter. Cleveland ahead as they wrap up the first quarter on a 15-5 run. It's the NBA on 2K Sports from the Palace of Auburn Hills. And we welcome you back to more NBA action. Players looking hydrated and plenty of Gatorade to help them get their job done tonight. And let's get your take, guys, on the scoring breakdown for Cleveland.
Fellas, they're passing the ball the way you're supposed to here in this first half.
The other thing that's helped them early tonight are the points they've been able to convert off turnovers.
Steve Blake is out there with Reggie Jackson. Then there's Andre Drummond. Then it's Marcus Morris. And it's Johnson in at the 3 slot. They're the group Detroit will start the second with.
Reggie Jackson for 2.
And now one spot the Cavs did struggle with last year was help off the bench. They were last in the league in bench scoring.
Now here's Williams. He hasn't scored yet. That I'm sure will change. Pick by Varejao. Clock at 4. And it's Love missing.
His shot's just, it's not there right now. With his team leading, perhaps, you know, let's focus on some other areas of the game.
So both teams making some changes here. Here in the second quarter with a little over a minute gone. And that one's good.
A lot of space right there to get that shot off.
Not a very good job of the defender getting over the top of that screen in that particular play.
And the Pistons were a better team last season than they were in 2014. I mean, they still ended up bottom in the Central Division, but most of it was because of how strong the Central really was last season.
No good on the free throw. Greg, as you said, the Pistons were last in the Central Division last year. They had finished fourth each of the last 4 years before that, Clark.
And, you know, the Pistons actually had more wins last year coming in last than they did in any of the 4 seasons they finished fourth. I mean, it just shows you how tough and improved the Central Division was last year.
And it's the Cavaliers with the ball, following the bucket by the Pistons. Blake with the steal. And here we go. And the slam dunk by Johnson.
And guys, that's a big swing right there. I mean, taking the steal and then turning it into 2 easy points on the dunk.
No telling how important that sequence could turn out to be.
And guys, in a game this snug, moments like that are the ones we usually look back on at the end as a difference maker. Well, as we take a look at the rankings, let's see where Detroit ended up last season. 3rd in second chance points, 4th in rebounding, and they were top 10 in fewest team turnovers. This team has a number of players that take care of the ball and value every possession.
And just go revisit those numbers in terms of second chance points. That was elite, and they weren't shy about sticking their nose in there and going after the ball.
The try by James. He dishes it to Mozgov. To stop the run. Rebound by the Pistons.
Well defended, though, and he's not someone who handles that kind of pressure very well.
They retain possession. And here we go with Thompson running it up the court.
And that's how the coach would draw it up on the fast break from start to finish.
Yeah, and what a finish it was, guys. Really nicely done.
And a different look here for the Pistons. That free throw good from Thompson.
And listen, Cleveland were the favorites to win the Central Division last season. High expectations given they finished 3rd in the Central in 2014. But that's just what adding LeBron can do for a team.
Here's James after the basket by Detroit. Jefferson's shot is off.
You know, even against defense as tight as that, you expect him to bury those.
Yeah, I don't know, though, Clark. That defender was on him like glue on that possession. That would have been a heck of a bucket, even though we've seen him hit those in the past.
And here are the Cavaliers now after the basket by Detroit. From 18 feet away. And it's Detroit's ball. They're on a 13-3 run. So he gets the whistle. Contact on the way up and 2 shots coming up. Well, last season the Pistons didn't reach the playoffs for the 6th consecutive season. They're making progress, but as we can all see, still have a lot of work to do.
Yeah, you know, they were spoiled for a while there. How about going to the playoffs for 1996 to 2009? So it's been a rough stretch here of late, but you get the feeling that the building blocks are in place for another push.
And the Cavaliers call time here.
And I bet most people forget that the Pistons did make the playoffs for 8 straight years before this current drought. It's been a long rebuild process for them recently, but I think they're making progress and moving in the right direction.
A big group substitution here for Cleveland. Anderson Varejão's checked in for Mozgov. Love comes in for Tristan Thompson. Harris is checked in for J.R. Smith. And it's Matthew Dellavedova in for Richard Jefferson. It's a pick by Love. Goes back up. And he lays it up and in. Love's got 6.
the defense just gets caught standing around that time and giving up the second chance opportunity.
You know, that just can't happen. They need much more effort than that on the glass.
And for the Pistons, they seem to have a direction and plan now that just wasn't the case before. It won't be easy to get back into the postseason, but I really feel like they are on the right path.
Here's Caldwell Pope. Rejected by Harris. They recover it. Will not go. This is off the front iron. The Cavaliers trail by 3. And finished off by LeBron.
You can see the eye contact there. Gave a little nod and then burst to the rim for the alley-oop slam.
No doubt, Clark. A pair of teammates with a terrific feel for each other out on the floor.
And guys, anytime it's real tight, you're looking for something that could be potentially a momentum builder. And that's exactly what that play looks to be.
Here's Morris. Good D by James.
That's a surprise. I mean, really out of character for him to miss when the defense is not right up on him.
Well, Clark, we've seen the lead change hands quite a bit in this one.
Yeah, we sure have. I mean, it's been a bit of a windshield wiper game. I mean, back and forth, the lead has gone 5 times, so no one in clear control yet.
And guys, I think each team knows.
And a pretty tightly contested game here as we end the first half. Cavaliers on top. They lead by 1. And join us right back here after the break for the start of the second half. And welcome back to the second half of our Halloween broadcast.
And guys, the first year for David Blatt, he was second guessed at every turn. And that happens when you are picked to make the finals, but also when you coach LeBron James.
The third quarter now beginning. Both sides looking to pull away in the last half of the game. One of the stories here, Reggie Jackson getting it done today.
Yeah, you know, one of the things about the truly greats of our game is that sometimes you get spoiled because of how consistent they can be. And so far, another big scoring night for him.
And oftentimes when he puts up that many points in the first half, he follows it up with an even better second half. We'll see if that's the case here.
So on the floor for Cleveland. Love and Verjao are up front. Harris is out there with Matthew Dellavedova. And it's James in at the small forward. Dellavedova, that's good.
I like the fact that he led his teammate right to the ideal spots. You don't always throw it to your teammate. You throw it to where he needs to be. Went for the two-hander on that slam. That's where the weight room comes into play, Kevin.
I think some urgency from him there.
I think he's sensing that this is a critical time in the game, fellas.
And he gets it to go.
3 for 3, and that's always a good way to start the second half.
Morris, left side. Here's Caldwell Pope. Jackson passes to Morris. Here's Caldwell Pope. And he didn't get quite enough under that one. And finished off by LeBron.
I tell you what, he can do a lot more damage to that rim than that when he wants to.
And you know, Clark, with the lead they're enjoying, I'm surprised he didn't put a little something extra on that one.
Me too.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'm glad he didn't, because otherwise we'd probably have a 45-minute delay here if he shattered the backboard.
They had a hard time making shots consistently last season. Clark, not a good shooting team from the floor. And, of course, that's in this league, it's going to kill you.
Yeah, it really will. I mean, at one point last year, Kevin, 3 of their 5 starters were in the bottom 10 in terms of players' field goal percentage. I mean, hard to win any game that way.
And the rejection by Love. Pick by Verjao. Kicks it to Dellavedova. A three-pointer off the mark.
And the Pistons would finish in the bottom 3 in terms of team shooting last year. But for the most part, their shooting did improve over the course of the season.
Superb assist there.